This comes from the Autobiography of Benjamin Franklin. Chapter 9, Interest in Public Affairs. I began now to turn my thoughts a little to public affairs, beginning, however, with small matters. The city watch was one of the first things that I conceived to want regulation. It was managed by the constables of the respective wards in turn. The constable warned a number of housekeepers to attend him for the night. Those who chose never to attend paid him 6 shillings a year to be excused, which was supposed to be for hiring substitutes, but was, in reality, much more than was necessary for that purpose, and made the constableship a place of profit, and the constable, for a little drink, often got such ragamuffins about him as a watch that respectable housekeepers did not choose to mix with. Walking the rounds, too, was often neglected, and most of the nights spent in tippling. I therefore wrote a paper to be read in junto, representing those irregularities, but insisting more particularly on the inequality of the 6 shilling tax of the constables, respecting the circumstances of those who paid it, since a poor widow housekeeper, all those property to be guarded by the watch did not perhaps exceed the value of £50, paid as much as the wealthiest merchant, who had thousands of pounds worth of goods in his stores. On the whole, I proposed as a more effectual watch the hiring of proper men to serve constantly in that business, and as a more equitable way of supporting the charge, the levying of a tax that should be proportioned to the property. This idea, being approved by the junto, was communicated to the other clubs, but as arising in each of them, and though the plan was not immediately carried into execution, yet, by preparing the minds of people for the change, it paved the way for the law obtained a few years later, when the members of our clubs were grown into more influence. Generally speaking, I am pro-police, and tend to think the elected politicians are more burdensome on society since they make the rules. But this example shows there can be bad police and bad situations in supporting them. The aspect of having things in a good balance requires constant vigilance. This is also an admonition against those who try to paint a rosy picture of the past, since no, things have not always been in proper balance.